You beg God to stop it, in the car, in the dark, in the hospital chair, and it happened anyway. So you stopped praying. I think that was fair. An honest test, an honest result. And I won't tell you that you didn't pray hard enough. But before you close the door, one fact. The man this whole religion is built on prayed your exact prayer. He begged to be spared. He begged 3 times. On his knees, then on his face, in the dirt. And the answer was no. He was tortured to death the next morning. And I will not tell you his no was secretly a yes. It wasn't. 3 things about that night should never have been written down. 1, the founder begged to escape. 2, heaven says it heard him and still said no. 3, some of the oldest copies of the story cannot agree on its strangest verse. So why did the men who worshipped him keep it in the book? What did heaven actually answer that night? And what does his no mean for yours? Spring, Jerusalem, Passover night, which means a full moon. He has just eaten a Last Supper with his friends, and he knows it was the last one. He crosses the Kidron ravine to a walled grove his friends know well. Its name is Gethsemane. In Aramaic, that means the oil press. The press is where olives go to be crushed. What comes out under that weight is the oil, for lamps, for wounds, for anointing kings. Remember the press. The night is named after it. He posts 8 men at the gate. He takes 3 deeper in, the same 3 who saw him transfigured in light on a mountain, and then those 3 watch something they have never seen. He begins to come apart. He tells them in his own words, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." The man they had watched calm a storm is asking 3 fishermen to keep him company in the dark. He goes a stone's throw farther, alone now, and he falls on his face on the bedrock and prays the prayer. "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt." The cup. In the prophets, a cup is what a nation drinks when the consequences finally arrive. Isaiah calls it the cup of staggering. He is looking into everything about to happen to him, and he asks his father to take it away. Heaven does not answer. He walks back and finds his 3 friends asleep. "Could you not watch with me 1 hour?" He goes back and prays a second time. And listen to how the prayer has changed. "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, thy will be done." Between the first prayer and the second, he has heard the no. Luke's account adds 2 verses. An angel appears to strengthen him, and his sweat falls like great drops of blood onto the ground. Now, the honesty you were promised. Some of the oldest manuscripts of Luke do not contain those 2 verses. Scholars still argue both ways. The bleeding sweat has a medical name, hematidrosis, and it is real but vanishingly rare. Here is what nobody disputes: the begging and the no. A 3rd time he prays the same words. Then torchlight comes through the trees. A friend's kiss marks his face for the arrest squad. The night of the oil press is over. The crushing has begun. Stop and ask the strangest question in this whole story. Who chose to write this down? These accounts were written by men who worshipped him as risen Lord, for communities being mocked and killed for that claim. A founder who begs to escape, sweats in terror, and gets refused is the last scene you invent. Historians even have a name for this: the criterion of embarrassment. You can stand in that grove today. In 2012, scientists dated its ancient olive trunks, 900 years old, and all of them children of one parent tree. The roots beneath may be far older, and pilgrims still line up to touch one shelf of pale bedrock, worn smooth by hands. Which brings us to the second thing that should not be in the book. A line in the letter to the Hebrews about that night. It says he offered up prayers with loud cries and tears to the one able to save him from death. And then it says he was heard. Heard? The cup did not pass. The cross happened. If that is what being heard by God looks like, then either the word means nothing, or it means something we have not understood. Hold that question. First, you need to know how seriously the church takes the begging itself, because 300 years later, Christians went to war over whether that prayer in the garden was real. Some taught that Christ had no human will at all, that the garden was theater performed for our benefit. In 681, a council in Constantinople condemned that idea as heresy. The church ruled permanently. The recoil was real. The want to live was real. The no landed on a real man. Sit with how strange that is. The official teaching is this: God knelt in an olive grove and didn't want the thing that was coming. Your religion teacher may have skipped that. The councils did not. Morning came. The cup did not pass. He drank all of it. And in Matthew and Mark, one of the last things he cries from the cross is a question. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Hear it plainly. Your worst prayer, the one you were ashamed of, is in the mouth of God, in the book, on purpose. Two honest footnotes because you were promised honesty. That cry is the first line of Psalm 22, a psalm he knew by heart, and it ends in vindication. Both things are true at once. He prayed a psalm that ends in hope, and he felt every inch of the abandonment. The tradition refuses to soften either half, and the resurrection. This channel believes it, but I cannot prove to you in the next 3 minutes that the grave was not the end, and I will not pretend to. What I can show you is what the book itself says the no was for. Hebrews finishes its own sentence. He was heard, it says, and then, being made perfect through suffering, he became the source of salvation to all who obey him. The answer to the prayer was not the cup removed. The answer was death itself answered. The Father's yes was bigger than the ask. There was another man, years later, who begged 3 times for a no to change, a thorn in his flesh. God's answer to him was not removal either. It was, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. That man's story is its own film. This one had to come first. So here's what this faith actually claims about prayer, with the marketing stripped off. It never promised outcome control. Its founding scene is a refused request. What it promises is stranger, that no one drinks their cup alone anymore. I will not tell you your loss was secretly good. He never said that in the garden either. I will not tell you to pray harder. The man on the bedrock had no faith deficit, and the no still came. He asked 3 friends to watch 1 hour. They fell asleep. He kept them anyway. So the next time you say the honest thing into the dark and hear nothing, know whose company you are in. You are not outside this faith with your unanswered prayer. You are standing on its founding ground. The car, the dark, the hospital chair, he has knelt in all of them. That is not an answer to every question you have. It is the one fact this film exists to hand you. If you want to see heaven say yes in public, that story is next. A muddy field in Portugal, 1917. Tens of thousands of people, some of them newspapermen who came to laugh. The anti-clerical press printed what they saw. Go in peace and be not afraid.